Good evening, dear all. It's indeed a great evening. Today we have with us Dr. Vidure Sami, Head of the Department of Yoga, Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University, and Dr. Padmanabhan TV, Yoga Psychologist and Yoga Faculty, Subject Expert, Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam. Let's invoke God's blessings. Prayer by Miss Ragintu.
सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
This webinar on an overview of 10 classical Upanishads is organized by Yoga Enlightens. We are lucky to have such an eminent personality to inaugurate today's session. Dr. Sami is the head of the Department of Yoga and Associate Professor at Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University with 18 years of teaching experience. Dr. Sami has conducted several national and international webinars, faculty development programs, and even penned around 6 books. 11 journals for the UGC listed International Journal. Dr. Sami was the yoga instructor of former governor and ministers and many IPS officers of Tamil Nadu. On behalf of the Yoga Enlightens and everyone present here, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. Now, let me invite Dr. Sami to formally inaugurate the webinar and to give the inaugural address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So it's really, I'm happy to see that such a wonderful webinar on the overview of 10 classical Upanishads for UGC NET examinations. So the respected, the eminent speaker, Dr. Padmanabhan sir, and the good organizers of the Yoga Enlightens, my beloved students, Ms. Srividya, pursuing the MSc Yoga in our department in Department of Yoga and Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University. And the dear faculty members from various institutions. My dear, I think so, my dear alumni students are here. I think so, the Balachandran Nair sir was my beloved student, MSc Yoga Therapy student. Nice to see you, sir. And the dear anchor, Srimati Suchitra Krishna Kumar, and who done the prayer, Ms. Ragentu, and my beloved participants of this webinar. Really, so such a wonderful webinar. The dear participants, you are going to get the good message, not only message, very good, another 1 hour or how many minutes the sir is going to engage with you, or sir is going to give a good honey to your ears, Dr. Padmanabhan sir. So I came to know about Dr. Padmanabhan sir served as the faculty members in the School of Physical Education in Central University of Kerala. And as well as now he's at present he is working in the Mahatma Gandhi University in the Department of Yoga. Really nice to see you, sir. Really, I'm so happy. I am also part of this webinar. Rightly said that my beloved student Srividya, number of things to talk about you, sir. Dr. Padmanabhan sir, so and so, such a wonderful psychiatrist. Really, sir. So when you come to Chennai, please inform me. We will organize one webinar or one workshop in our Department of Yoga in Tamil Nadu Physical Education Sports University according to your schedule when you come to Chennai. So regarding that, such a wonderful webinar organized by that Yoga Enlightens. So before that, my voice and everything is clear, Shivdya?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Fine. It's really, what is there? Everybody should know about that yoga. What is yoga? Yoga, everything should know that yoga. So simple thing I talk about that. Shividya ma'am told that, sir, 5 to 10 minutes you talk, sir. That is enough for us. Like that, she given a very good explanations and everything to me before that. Fine. And also yoga. Now yoga is the academics, my beloved participants. Yoga is the academics. Before that, yoga means like Sarvangasan, Serasasan, Dhanurasan, or some meditation, or some pranayama, like that. That is the yoga before that, or 10 years back or 5 years back. Now yoga is the academics. That's why the University Grants Commission approved that yoga as a subject of UGC in the NET examination. First thing I want to. As well as yoga as a science now. What is the science? It's a proof. So if as a yoga master rightly, the Suchitra ma'am said that I am a yoga trainer of former governor of Tamil Nadu and some number of IAS, IPS officers. So one-to-one, I am a specialist for one-to-one practice. So 1 week, if I am taking the classes to the concerned person, if the person it's not get the peace or not get some changes from my classes, immediately that person can change the yoga master. So that is a very, very important. That is a science. So you have to give the proof, not simply just you can practice Sarvangasan, Dhanurasan. You should not say like that. Nowadays, everybody's have the very good awareness of the yoga. And what is yoga? Everybody's are telling yoga stress. You can go to yoga. Diabetics, you can go to yoga. Everybody's are telling go for yoga, go for yoga. What is yoga? So you join the body and mind. Everybody's are telling. The uneducated people are asking to you what is yoga. You have to clarify that what is yoga? Nothing but myself who. That is myself who. I am who. Here I am a research person. I should engage my participants and speakers. Those who are participating in the webinar, I am engaged the people's body, mind and breath. That only my duty. That is myself who. This is nothing but yoga. That's all. And regarding that practicals and therapeutic yoga, that is very, very important. Practicals and therapeutic yoga. So those who are enter the yoga profession, your first qualification is, those who are enter the yoga profession, your first qualification is you do the self-yogic practices in 365 days. Daily, it means whole year, even Deepavali, even Pongal, even Onam Pandigai also, you must practice yoga. The self-yogic practices is the first qualification of the when you enter in the yoga profession. And regarding the UGC NET examination, in around our country, maximum 1,000 or 1,500 people only passed that. I think so 5 or 6 batches only over, I think so. So only 1,000 or 1,500 or maximum 2,000 people only clear the NET examination. But if you are comparing how many colleges is there, how many more than 1 lakh of colleges there, it means More than 1 lakh vacancies waiting for you, my beloved participants, my dear students. More than 1 lakh vacancies there. Lecturer vacancy, yoga lecturer vacancy, more than 1 lakh vacancies waiting for you. But the qualified person is only less than 2,000 people only. So you should equip yourself. That is a very, very important. So NET exam, Srividya taken a very good initiative that, like giving the webinar of UGC NET examinations. And as well as you should develop the therapeutic yoga, my dear students. Like one of the Upanishads said that, Taittiriya Upanishads, in Taittiriya Upanishads said that, Dasya Bhumisha Viniyoga. Taittiriya Upanishad mentioned about that, Dasya Bhumisha Viniyoga. It means application of yoga. What is the application of yoga? What I am apply to the patients. That is the application of yoga. It means it differ to each and every one. So I'm telling that in Bhujangasana, you know, everybody should know Bhujangasana. I can tell more than 75 variations I can tell for Bhujangasana. This is nothing but Tasya Bhumisha Viniyoga, applications of yoga, modifications of yoga. So this also you should develop yourself, my beloved participants. So regarding the webinar, the 10 Upanishads, I go through that. What are the things like Hada Yoga, Pratipika, Hada Upanishads, Shiva Samhita, like that. The 10 Upanishads going to engage that. Really very nice thing for this webinar. So thank you so much for giving a great opportunity as a resource person and inaugurate this webinar. I thank the Srividya ma'am and eminent speaker Padmanabhan sir and my beloved student Balachandra Nair sir is there and various participants. So thank you so much, Srividya. And I congratulate to all participants. Definitely you should clear the NET examinations. Wish you all the best for your bright and colorful future to all my dear students. Thank you so much for giving a great opportunity to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for such an informative and amazing talk. Let me welcome one of the eminent speakers, Dr. Padmanabhan, who is here to deliver the speech on the topic, the review of 10 classical Upanishads. Dr. Padmanabhan was initiated to yoga with Mantra Diksha and Karma Sannyasa by his guru, Paramahamsa Swami Niranjanananda Saraswati of Bihar School of Yoga and Bihar Yoga Bharati on the auspicious day of Mahashivaratri, 12th March 2002, to spread the science of yoga for the well-being of the people worldwide. Doctor has completed MA in Yoga Psychology with first class, a unique 2-year full-time regular and residential integrated postgraduate program from Bihar Yoga Bharati, world's first yoga university recognized by University Grants Commission, Government of India. He has completed his master's degree in applied psychology as well as counseling and psychotherapy and also got his doctorate. He has encyclopedic knowledge in yoga with 20 years of teaching experience, including the service as head of the Department of Yoga in Bhaskara College of Fine Arts, Yoga faculty in School of Physical Education and Sports Sciences, Kannur University, Yoga faculty in School of Medicine and Public Health Department of Yoga Studies, Central University of Kerala. Dr. Padmanabhan has conducted several webinars and workshops and published several articles and papers in international journals too. Dr. Padmanabhan has presented his papers in 18 UGC supported national seminars. I would like to invite our chief speaker for the webinar, Dr. Padmanabhan TV, to deliver the speech on an overview of 10 classical Upanishads. Over to you, sir.
Namaskaram. Especially our chief guest, Dr. Doraiswamy sir, and all the dears and nears who joined in this great venture. The principal Upanishad, the 10 principal Upanishads, and overview. You may be knowing that to talk about the 10 classical Upanishads in 1 hour, it is not possible at all. It is a very Herculean task. So as we mentioned in the brochure, the purpose of this webinar is to give an awareness to all this, especially to the postgraduate students of yoga who are going to write UGC NET examination. Because this Upanishads, the study of Upanishads is limited to that purpose only. It has dual purpose. You will get a surface level idea about these 10 Upanishads, and as well as you will get all the important informations that you require for the purpose of UGC NET examination. As you know that Upanishads is the heart of yoga. Even before the advent of this Hatha Yoga texts, there are various Hatha Yoga texts that is Hatha Yoga is an offshoot of Tantra Yoga, and even much before you can see the independent yoga system in the Upanishads. In the classical Upanishads is the base, the 10, and there are about 20 Upanishads that exclusively meant for in which you can see the asanas, pranayamas, the chakras, index, everything. Rightly told by the head of the department of Tamil Nadu Sports Physical Education and Sports University, Dr. Doraiswamy sir, the yoga is not to be limited in Bhujangasana. He is very right, no doubt at all. But people are running after Bhujangasana. Yes, Bhujangasana is a part. My intention is not to leave that Bhujangasana. We should go with that. But before that, what actually yoga constitutes? The constitution of yoga actually is made by the great Upanishads. So, before I start, my salutation to my Guru, as already announced in the anchoring of the welcome speech. My Guru, Paramahamsa Swami Niranjanananda Saraswati of Bihar School of Yoga. So I got an opportunity to join there. It is only because of the nimitta of the great God Mahadevan. Otherwise, I will never get a chance to go there. So I joined there, and under his initiation, I started my yoga program. My salutation to my Guru, Om Guru Pyo Namah. So the time is too short. Now it is going to be 8:20. So I will show you some slides. You see these slides. These slides are the summary of these 10 Upanishads. And from tomorrow onwards, you can watch this Upanishad in detail in the YouTube, right from all the 10 Upanishads. Isha Kenam, Katham, Prasno Upanishad, all the 10 Upanishads up to Pragadharanyam. Pragadharanyam is the last one. So you can watch carefully in the YouTube. Now, this purpose of this seminar is to give an overview of what it is. What is the necessity of studying all these Upanishads? So what are the connections of these Upanishads with yoga and how it is helpful for the students? These are all to be discussed today. The slide is visible, I think, is it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So he's my Guru, Om Sri Gurave Namaha. Now you see, this is, so I used a psychological technique. This is called association. Okay, even by seeing the colors, okay, you will be able to remember the Upanishads in order. You see the blue, the Ishavasa Upanishads, this color, and the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It pertains to Shukla Yajurveda. Yajurveda has two. That is, one is the Shukla Yajurveda and the other one is the Krishna Yajurveda. Okay, and Krishna means black. You see, immediately you see the black. How many blacks are here? There are two blacks. Okay, so Kathopanishad and Taittiriya comes under Yajurveda. So association technique is one of the best technique to remember, because it is very difficult to remember all the 10 Upanishads. So you can use some association techniques by which you will be able to remember the order of the Upanishads sequentially. So this is the order: Isha, Vasya, Kenopanishad, Kathopanishad, Prashnopanishad, Mundagopanishad, Munda Mandukya Taittiri, Aitareya Chandogam, Prahadaranyakam Disha. So it is the verse. So actually, what is the central teaching of the Upanishads? It is very important to give attention to the central teaching of the Upanishads. So when you are able to understand the central teaching of these Upanishads, then this central teaching would definitely help you to answer the questions that is going to be asked in the UGC NET examinations. So first it talked about the Brahman, the universal consciousness. It is inexpressible, inconceivable. It is not perceivable at all, but still it is there. This is the concept. And Atman is, there is no substantial difference between Brahman and Atman. The only thing is the Atman, when we use the Atman, it is individual consciousness or soul. Okay. And what is the idealistic monism is, everything is Brahman. It is because of all the whatever we see outside. That is what Upanishad says, the external manifestations. These are all the manifestations that have come from the Brahman. And it talks about the creation of the universe. Creation of the universe. Then it talks about concept of prana, what it is. Manas, Indriyas. Okay. Then it talks about the concept of Maya. Maya is a power of Brahman. Okay. And that power of Brahman, we have the Jagat. Okay. Jagat. That is coming now. And it talks about the Panchamahabhutas. So this classical Upanishad is very, very, very useful for you to understand the whole concept of yoga actually. Then it talks about the three bodies. Okay, we have a gross body, the Sthula Sarira, and inside we have a Sukshma Sarira. Even though they cannot see, they are made up of the Panchavayus, the Andhakaranas, okay, the sense organs, etc. They are the limbs of the Sukshma Sarira. And there is a Karna Sarira, causal body. We are not aware of it. Then it talks about 4 states of consciousness. It is the great contribution of Mandukya Upanishads. Even the psychology talks about only the 3 levels of consciousness. And it is the first Upanishads talked about the 4 levels of consciousness. The Turiya, the super consciousness. And that is sometimes our great integral yoga, father of integral yoga, we use the supramental consciousness. Now, Taittiriya Upanishads that talks about the Panchakoshas. Okay, Panchakoshas. And it talks about Aparavidya and Paravidya. Okay, the Aparavidya we are going to discuss. Then Jnana Yoga. Then the process of attaining right knowledge, Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Okay. Then the cycle of birth and death. Then law of the karma and bondage and liberations. These are all the central teaching of the Upanishads. So all the subject matter, the topic of this central teaching of the units, they are mentioned separately by the 10 classical Upanishads. So the main teaching of Upanishads is, it is about the Atman or the Brahman, the Jiva and the Jagat. Okay, it is a triangle. It is a triangle. Okay, Jiva, Jagat and Atman. Atman or Brahman, it is the eternal, okay, but not expressible, not perceivable at all. Origin is unknown. And Jiva is the embodied soul, the Atman within us, the Jiva. Okay. And Jagat may be anything. Even your body is Jagat. And Jagat is Ja and Gat. It goes and comes. Ja goes, Gat means comes. It is because of this it has got the name Jagat, Jiva and Jagat. But the Jiva, when it resides in the body, whatever the karma we do, the stains of the karma are sticked upon the Jiva. So what Upanishad says that the karma you are doing, you should be very careful of that, because law of karma, and whatever the karma you do, that may retaliate. If it is good, then it is good. If it is bad, that will retaliate. Okay. And whatever the karma you do in your whole life, and what happened, don't think that are going away from you. Not at all. They remain in your, it is like a CD, everything is written in the CD, and in that CD, whatever the activities, okay, done through the Antakaranas, the manas, the buddhi, that cannot be deleted, that cannot be erased. That cannot be erased at all. And they are stored in the Antakarana, and that storage, what we call, is called the samskaras. Okay. And one's lifestyle and one's way of thinking is based upon one samskaras. And from samskaras, vasanas comes, the subtle desires, and that directs the minds to move. Okay, this is the principle. So this talks about what is Atman and what is Jiva and what is Jagat. And Jagat means, when we talk about Jagat, since it comes and goes, so it is not permanent, it is transient. It is transient. And that is why Shankaracharya said, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithyam, Jivo Brahmaiva Na Apara. Okay. Brahma Satyam. Brahma is the only truth, and the Jagat, it comes and goes, and that is not real. So you have to find out, you have to discover the real aspects in your personality. That is nothing but Brahman, and Brahman in the simplest language is nothing. It is the pure state of level of consciousness. Okay, so this is the main teachings of Upanishad, Atman, Jiva and Jagat. And these are all, and Upanishads, they gives the great Mahavakyas. Okay, and you know that even the whole world, the Mahavakya has already given an insight to the whole world. And that is why, we have many good books written by the foreigners. Indians are writing, of course. And even the Max Muller, he is actually the prime person. He has given more commentary to all Upanishads. And without Max Muller, there will be no study so far, either the Upanishad or philosophy, whatever it is. So Aitareya Upanishad says that Prajnanam Brahma, yes, knowledge and yes, consciousness is Brahman. Okay, and consciousness is all totality of the consciousness. Waking consciousness, okay, and the Sapna consciousness, Karana Sarira consciousness, all the consciousness, everything. And Mandukya Upanishad, I am Atma Brahma, again. Okay, you have to remember this. And Brahadaranyaka Upanishad, Aham Brahmasmi, where I am the Brahman. And Chandogya Upanishad is the great Mahavakya, Tad Tvam Asi, you are that. But we do not know that I am that. So Upanishads will teach you, you are that, because you are endowed with that great consciousness, and that consciousness is not away from the body, it is within the body. So you have to find out, you have to discover it, only discover it. It is inside. And how to discover the Upanishads, all the 10 classical Upanishads give an excellent way, an excellent explanation to all the readers that yes, you would be able to discover this great Atman and you are that. So let me have a short discussion about Ishavasya Upanishad and what it says. Ishavasyam vidam sarvam yatkindya jagatyam jagat. All the whole universe is enveloped with the Ishvara. Ishvara is here, Paramatman, Atman. Okay. Tena tektena bunchida. Tena tektena. You have to renunciate what? Material pleasure. Material pleasure. Then what happens? Yes. If it is so, then you will be able to attain the liberation. But it is not possible to leave all the material pleasure because we are all common beings, common people. How we can renunciate all material pleasure like a sannyasi? It is not possible. And this is the greatness of this Ishavasya Upanishad. So in the second verse, it says that don't worry. Okay, you can enjoy the material pleasure as per the instructions mentioned in the Vedas. That is what we call Purusharthas. So every householder, every common people are also eligible for attain the moksha by enjoying the material pleasure according to the instructions mentioned in the Vedas. Okay, and that marga we call is called Pravarti Marga. Pravarti Marga, right? And the first one is a direct realization, and that is only possible for the sannyasin people. Okay, and that is what we call Nivarti Marga. And why the Upanishad mentioned these two? Because most of the people think that for liberation one has to become a sannyasi. Not at all. Not at all. It's not necessary. Even in Bhagavad Gita, the whole yoga is being taught to Arjuna. Arjuna, he was a householder. He was a householder. And when we understand the Upanishads in Bhagavad Gita in the right way, it is very beautiful for us. Otherwise, it is not at all digestible for us. So these two margas are, yes. Then this Ishavasya Upanishad says that, okay, I can, by enjoying the material pleasure, okay, everything, according to the instructions of yoga, you have to make a desire to live 100 years. Very, 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 very interesting. You have to make a desire to live 100 years. 100 years. And by which, it means that by which you will be definitely, no doubt at all, you will attain the moksha. And this 100 years, because it is not, the time is so limited, the 100 years is divided into 4 parts. That is, we have the Chaturasrama Vyavastha. That is Brahmacharyam, Grahastham, and Vanaprastham, and Sannyasam. 25, 25, 25, 25. Okay, fine. And this Upanishad says that at the time of death, don't make any desire. If you make a desire, then you have to take a birth. Okay, don't say that I have to see my grandchildren, that children, and you cannot see your grandchildren at all and you will die. So to seeing the grandchildren, you have to take a birth again. So don't make any desire at the time of the death. This Upanishad says that you chant either the Om or remember the God, especially the sun and the Agni. These are the two gods' names given in this great Upanishads. So Ishavasya Upanishad, in summarization, it provides a balance in the life. Okay, the liberation is possible for all categories. And this is the great Kathopanishad, Kenopanishad. Okay, Kenopanishad. Kenopanishad asks a question actually. What is actually how the mind works and who forces the mind to work, and how the prana moves. These are the questions being asked by the Kenopanishad, the speech and etc. Atman. Okay. Then it also, this Kenopanishad also teaches the gods humility. Humility. The pride should not be there. The ego, you should be free from the ego. Okay. Then this Upanishad, Kenopanishad says that what are the tools for that? Tapa. Okay, Dhamma means the mental control, and Karma Yoga means Niskama Karma and Satya. These are the 4 tools by which you will be directly able to know Brahman. And the Brahman, this kind of Upanishad, they have used the word Tadvanam. Tadvanam. UGC sometimes may ask this, Tadvanu. Okay. So it talks about the Brahman, the Brahman, the mind. So the mind cannot work independently. Okay. Independently, the mind cannot work. And once the mind is illumined or the consciousness, mind gets from the Brahman. Brahman is the consciousness. Then mind start functioning according to the samskara. So to have a good samskara and good vasanas are mandatory. Otherwise, the mind will go here and there. Then what happens? There will be chitta vrittis. And that is why Patanjali said, yoga is nothing but yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodha. Okay. Then next is Isha Kena. This Kathopanishad. This is a great Upanishad. A small boy, aged about 12 years old. Okay. He approaches the Yama, the king of death, to know about the truth, where the person goes after death. Okay. The story you can hear from YouTube from tomorrow, because all the 10 Upanishads I'm going to upload from tomorrow, so you can hear it. So this Kathopanishad, it teaches the dana. Whenever you give something, you should give it faith and truth. This is very, very important. And next, Kathopanishad says that you have to cultivate the path, Shreyas. Okay, and Shreyas is inclined towards the moksha, and don't the prayers. Prayers is inclined to the material pleasure. Okay, and when this small boy asked the questions to Yama, and Yama was very much pleased because his austerity, his tapa, and he waited there for 3 days without even food. And he was very much happy with this child. And you know that Yama called him as a preshta, the dearest one. And he says that let be more Nachiketas in this world to ask questions, such a great questions, so that the spirituality grows. Wonderful. Wonderful. It is actually wonderful. It calls him preshta. Then it talks about the nature of Atman. Nature of Atman is very much the same as mentioned in Sankhya philosophy in chapter 2. Okay. Najayade, Mriyadeva, Kadachit, Nayam. These same verses as it is taken and copied in Bhagavad Gita. No difference at all. Because it is believed that Kathopanishad was written much earlier than this Bhagavad Gita. Then it says that the Purusha, the consciousness is of the thumb size, and that resides in the cave of the heart. And cave of the heart is nothing but it is Anahata Chakra, Anahata Guha. And in that Guha, you meditate upon this Purusha, the consciousness, as a symbol of the thumb, in the form of thumb. Angushta Matrena Purusha. Angushta Matrena Purusha, it resides. So these are all some types of techniques to meditate. Because all the Upanishads, especially the Kathopanishad, gives more importance to the meditation. And Nachiketas asked Yama, would you please teach me these 5 meditations? Yes. And he taught him the Panjati meditation. Okay. And last, this is great Upanishad. And what will be the right way? How should we be energetic to attain the liberation or to know about the self? And the great words that is usually repeatedly being said by our global monk Swami Vivekananda, Uttishtada, Jagrada, Prapyavaran, Nibodhada. Okay, wake and arise. Okay, do till the success is obtained. And this is the great advice that gives Kathopanishad to us. Now coming to the Prasna Upanishad. Okay, Prasna Upanishad is Prasna, type of questions. And 6 great disciples, you see, they are all sitting. These are all the 6th one. I am giving an idea. That much only I can do for today. Okay, and they are sitting in front of Rishi Pipalada. And they asked we came here to know about the Brahman. So Pipalada said that it is not possible to understand the Brahman immediately, the Atman immediately. So there is a preparation for that. Okay, and what was the preparation? He said that you stay in my ashram for 1 year. Okay, and you go for tapas, brahmacharyam, and shraddha. After that, you come to me, and if I know, you see the simplicity of the teacher. Okay, simplicity of the teacher. If I know, I think that this sentence should be noted by the all yoga, the students, everybody who is involved in yoga. If I know, then I will give the answer to you, the humbleness. Okay, fine. So it talks about the pancha pranas, etc. This is what Prashnopanishad. Yes. Then it talks about the creation. Okay, this is prana first and rai the moon. Okay, this is energy plus matter. It is very much coincide with the science creation. And this Mundagopanishad. Mundagopanishad, you know, our India's motto, this one national motto, Satyameva Jayade, and that is taken from Mundagopanishad. Mundagopanishad. In Mundagopanishad, you can see the sequence of the order of the Guru Shishya Parambara. Okay, Guru Shishya Parambara. And here, you know, Shaunaka, a great Shishya of Angiras, he asked, what is that by the knowing of which all this becomes known? Okay, then the Rishi says that for that there are two Vidyas. One is the Paravidya. Paravidya means the higher knowledge, supreme knowledge. And Aparavidya means the lower knowledge. And we think that we studied the Vedas and the Vedangas, they are all Aparavidyas, by which it is not possible to understand the Brahman. But this is mandatory. Aparavidya is also mandatory. And Paravidya, then only this Para and Apara. Para plus Para is equal to knowing the Brahman. Okay, like in the Ishavasya Upanishad, it is said Vidya and Avidya. Avidya in Ishavasya Upanishad is not ignorance. Avidya is also a Vidya. You get Vidya when you are involving in the karmas. Okay, and Vidya is simply understanding the Veda, studying etc. and Vedas. Both this Vidya and Avidya are necessary for understanding the self. Okay, so you have to very much understand this concept. So don't write Avidya is ignorance. Okay, in Ishavasya Upanishad. And here is Aparavidya. It is as good as Avidya. Means by simply learning and understanding the Vedas and the Vedangas, etc., is not the yardstick to understand the highest supreme knowledge. That is what Brahman is. Then it says that everything is existed from Brahman, just as a spider creates web from the spider, then just as a medicinal plant grow from the earth. So in one single point, everything existed. This is what we said by the Big Bang theory also. From the single point, the whole universe has been manifested. And if there is a manifestation, there is a dissolution, means coming back to the center. That we don't know when it is coming. Okay. Then it says that how to attain the perfect knowledge, tapas, austerity, and practice of truth, satyasa satyam actually, and brahmacharya. Okay, then means for attaining self-knowledge, inner strength, alertness, and total renunciation of all material desires, because it is mainly for the sannyasin, it is not for the householders. Then Mandukya Upanishad. Okay, and Mandukya Upanishad, this is the great Upanishad that is said by the talked about, discussed, and is explained by the 4 levels of consciousness: Jagrat, Supna, Sushupti, and Turiya. Okay, and the great Mahavakya is I am Atma Brahma. This Atman is Brahma. It means my individual consciousness. There is no substantial difference with the universal consciousness. And that is actually, this is the main definition that we can see throughout the yoga. Most of them are writing the same definition. Okay, union of Jivatman with Paramatman. This is the meaning. Okay, fine. So, okay, now let us coming to the Taittiriya Upanishad. Okay, Taittiriya Upanishad, Titri is a bird actually, Titri, and Titri was a great Maharshi also. And our theory of Panchakosha comes in this Taittiriya Upanishad. Okay, Taittiriya Upanishad. So, okay. And here, there are three valleys, Shiksha Valley, Premananda Valley, and Bhrigu Valley. Okay. And Shiksha Valley, the phonetics, the science of phonetics, how to pronounce the word correctly. Suppose if you want to say the pratyaksham, then you have to say pratyaksham. It should be touched from the lips, the upper palate, and etc. You have to see where it is. Actually, this pronunciation skill, it should be taught to our growing children so that they talk clearly. The pronunciation will come, so the speech will be very clear to all of us. So it is talking about the Shiksha Valley. So there are the mantras, or there are certain mantras, so the chanting style, etc. This is talks about by the Shiksha Valley. And it says that Om is Brahman. Om is Brahman. Om iti Brahma. Then there are, this is the great Upanishads, what are the dharmas you have to observe. Satyam vada, okay, speak the truth. And then dharmam chara. These are all the great dharmas that is mentioned in this great Upanishad. Then Madhu Devo Bhava, Pitur Devo Bhava, Ajaya Devo Bhava. Okay, all these things you can see in these Upanishads. Then attitude towards the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas means the older people or the wise people. Okay, and suppose any older people coming to you. Okay, they are sitting in the bus. You have to give seat to them. Okay, Shraddhaya. Then the Panchakosha, the theory of Panchakosha, that is discussed in the Taittiriya Upanishad. And over this Panchakosha, it is referred to a bird. For example, you see the bird, Pranamaya Kosha. Okay, the right wing is Vyana, and Prana its head, and trunk is the space or Akasha, and left wing is the Apana, and the tail is the Prithvi. Okay, it is mentioned in this comparing to a bird. Okay, and in the Bhrigu Valley, in the Bhrigu Valley, understanding the Brahman. What are the Brahman? So the Brahman is understood. Annam is Brahman, Tapa is Brahman, Prana is Brahman, Manas is Brahman, knowledge is Brahman, Ananda is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. Okay. Then the Taittiriya Upanishad. It is part of Rigveda. Okay, it talks about the creation, the Atman from the water, then the world of rays, then the earth, then the Apa, the underneath. Talks about it. And it talks about it from Atman, the Hiranyagarbha, okay, the Virat Purusha. And from Virat Purusha, the mouth, nose, eyes, etc. Yes, came out. Then nature of Brahman. He is Brahma, he is Indra, he is Prajapati. Everything is Brahma. Okay. And that is why it says that Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Consciousness is Brahman. All the activities that we do in our daily life, whatever it is. So we have to understand in detail, and the understanding itself is the consciousness, and that consciousness that we say Prajnanam Brahma. Okay. In most of the universities, Prajnanam Brahma. I think that in Cochin, Cosat University, this great Mahavakya is written. Okay. Okay. It's fine. Then Chandogya Upanishad. Okay, Chandogya. And Chandogya Upanishad, it talks about the chanting of the Om, mainly the Udgita. Udgita simply means chanting Om loudly with the mouth. Om, like this. Okay, this is called Udgita. And when you are chanting, the pronunciation skill, the phonetics should be how you are should from the kantha. Okay, and then O, Anunasika. Okay, and all these places you be very much care of that by discovering or by understanding all these places from where this Om is coming, and that itself is the meditation. I hope you understood. Okay, it is not like that Om simply, no, it is not Om, it is not like this. Understanding from where it is coming, from the mouth, is the Udgita. Yes. Then this Udgita, it has Udgita. The Ud means prana, heaven. Okay. Then Samaveda. And Gi means walk, atmosphere, air, Yajurveda. Tha, food, earth, fire, Rigveda. So the Udgita, in the Omkara, everything includes. And in Shandilya Vidya, Shandilya Vidya, it is gives a cosmological proof of the absolute. Okay. And in which they compared the Atma as Tajjala. Okay, Tajjala. You remember this word, Tajjala. And you can, and this, and again they said that it is from which the things are born. Everything is existed from the Atman or the Brahman And the Atman is a positive entity, both great and small, infinite and finite, and surely reachable after death. Okay. And Tattvamasi, is the great Mahavakya that is mentioned in this great Upanishad. It is actually, the Uddalaga, the father, and his son was Shetaketu, and he was not happy with his father. He told his father that you didn't teach me rightly, so you said me what is Atman, what is Atman, what is Atman. Okay, 9 times. And after that, a small grain, small grain that was given to Shetaketu, and Uddala said, you peel it, make it again, you divide it. And at last he could not divide it. No, I cannot see that. Then Shetaketu, then Uddala says that, yes, Shetaketu, you are that. Tattvamasi, you are that. So there are 9 examples that is given in this great Upanishads. Okay. And this Upanishad says that Abhayam vai Brahma means fearlessness is Brahman. Okay. And most of the people think that the Brahman is something, the separate God, religious God, etc. No, it is not at all. Brahman is a state of consciousness, the supreme level of consciousness, by which the whole humanity is one. Okay, your whole humanity is one, the whole race is one, and there is no substantial difference among the whole human beings around the world. All are one. And this one understanding is actually called the unity consciousness or the universal consciousness. Okay, then it says that this Upanishad says that what is this Brahman? Satyasya Satyam, not Satya. Satyasya Satyam, it says. So the famous prayer mantra, Asadoma Satgamaya, etc. You can see in this great Upanishads, the Dharana Upanishad, you can see this. And this unconditional love to oneself. Actually, then the Maitreyi, Maitreyi was Yajnavalkya's wife. Then she came to him to learn more about this Atma Vidya. Then he said that you love your own self. Okay, and that is you love yourself and I love me. And this love is actually immortal. And it says that Brahman is in the heart. Then Maitreyi, Yajnavalkya, gives advices to Maitreyi. Okay, you see the female, this one, they are also very much involved in the ancient time. And people think that females are not there. Yes, there was Gargi as a great learned woman, and this Maitreyi. Okay, then he says, Yajnavalkya says that these are the 3 tools, Sravanam, Sraddhavan Labade Jnanam, that is said in Bhagavad Gita. Then Mananam, okay, reflection, again, and Nididhyasam, we have to meditate upon that. Great educational method, actually. Without listening, nothing will enter into our brain. So a great educational system that's mentioned by the Brihadaranyaka Upanishads. And it says that virtues to be cultivated. You have to cultivate some virtues. And what are they? And you know that these 3 people, Deva, Manisha, and Asura, they went to Prajapati. Okay, Prajapati is the Brahman. And Prajapati, they asked, what are the things we have to do to live friendly, happily, and amicably in this world? Then Prajapati produced dha, 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 3 sound, dha, dha, dha. Then called one by one. Deva, what you understood about this dha? Then Deva said, sir, we understood because it is Dhamma. Because sometimes, we are not under control, so we have to control ourselves. It is called Dhamma. then called the Manushya. What you understood about this? What is the? So we are not very much this dana. Okay, dana. So we have to cultivate dana. Okay, giving charity. Then Asura, what you understood about this da? Then Asura said that all of us know that we are very much cruel. So we have to remove the cruelty. So we have to cultivate compassion. Okay, compassion. So the three virtues, the temperance, charity, and compassion. Okay. And these are all the great lessons taught. Okay. These are the great lessons taught by the 10 Upanishads to us. So from tomorrow evening, probably tomorrow evening, you can watch the Upanishads one by one in the YouTube, Yoga Enlightens YouTube, or Dr. Padmanabhan TV, and that will be pronounced by our coordinator, Sri Vidya. So these are all an overview of the 10 Upanishads. So we will be able to complete this session by the scheduled time, because as I told you, the purpose is only for giving an idea about actually what it is, okay, what it is, and what is the necessity for understanding these great Upanishads. So tomorrow you can understand all these 10 Upanishads in detail, and when you watch the YouTube. And by this, okay, thank you very much for all the participants. So I think that most of the people faced some problem for opening the link. I don't know what happened today. And I have got many messages I have got it. So there is something wrong anyhow. Whosoever mentioned, I am very grateful to all, because you are ready to, you came, you attended, you participated very actively in this great seminar, and I hope, and the Brahman may bless you all. Okay. And whatever I have discussed, again, I used to say that the credit goes to my first mother, my God, Mahadev and Lord Mahadev, and to my Guru, Swami Paramahamsa, Swami Niranjananda Saraswati. Okay, all the credits to them. And if any mistakes that comes from my mouth, it is purely my own. Okay, by saying this, once again, I extend my hearty welcome and everything, greatness and gratitude to all who participated in this great webinar. Thank you very much.
Dr. Padmanabhan, who delivered the speech on today's topic, really enlightened every one of us and made it simple through his deep knowledge and wonderful words. We should learn from their hard work and dedication. This webinar is mainly aimed to help all UGC NET aspirants, and Doctor made it clear through his speech. I extend a heartfelt thanks to Dr. Padmanabhan. Let's be grateful to the people who make us enlightened. Two amazing talents, Dr. Sami and Dr. Padmanabhan. Dr. Durizami has given us a very informative talk as his inaugural address. He is a very vibrant and dedicated person who achieved greater success at this very young age. I express our sincere gratitude to Dr. Durizami for sparing his valuable time with us. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to thank my dear friend and my colleague, Ms. Vidya P. Nair, for her effort. Special thanks to Ms. Ragindu for her soothing and comforting voice. Thanks to the entire team of Yoga Enlightens and all the participants who were really active and enthusiastic. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Let me remind you that today's session is just a beginning of the topic, an overview of 10 classical Upanishads. It will be continued on YouTube live streaming on the coming days on the YouTube channel yogaenlightens.com. All are requested to watch it. Thank you. Now, it's time to wind up the session. Let's thank Almighty for this great evening. I invite Ms. Ragentu for the prayer.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ